Do you want to know the top 5 most undervalued CS2 items right now? This video will cover the safest investments first and slowly descend into riskier but much more lucrative items. No more talking, let's get right into the number 5 spot. On the number 5 spot, we have cases. Our good old friend cases. It's not a new thing. People have been investing into cases for forever, but it's for a very good reason. Furthermore, the market crash has really affected them, but not how you might think. ROIs are up surprisingly, so it's more profitable than ever to open a case. Well, maybe not profitable, but you're not losing as much as before. If we take the fracture case, for example, a recently rare case, we can see before it was pulled out, it was sitting at about 44-45 cents maybe, spiking all the way up to 80, and after a correction, stabilizing at around 65-70 cents. After the crash, it's sitting at an unbelievable 55 cents. A rare case with a higher ROI than ever before, which is just amazing in my opinion. So I would recommend the fracture case just because it's really cheap and it's in the rare drop pool, so at least not that much more incoming supply. But it's not my first pick because the golds are not that excellent. What I would go for is the fever case. Yes, it is currently in the armory and it's being produced at an amazingly fast rate, which is not good for the price. But as we can see, it's never been this cheap before. When it was first released, it was sitting at about €1, bottoming out at 81 cents a few months later, spiking up to €1.30 with the gallery case hype when that case was removed. And now it has descended to 80 goddamn cents, which is a really amazing buy. It cannot get a lot cheaper than this because it costs like 70 cents to redeem, so it does not make any sense. That was my number 5 pick, guys. It's really solid, it's really safe, proven returns, and you will probably not lose a lot of money unless Valve completely removes cases, which is very unlikely. In the number 4 spot, we got charms, more specifically the small arm charms. But why them? They're part of the first generation of charms released to the game, so in the future they're probably gonna get higher prices, fetch higher prices than the rest. They're also the best looking collection in my opinion. We now have 4 charm collections in the armory, and this is still the best looking one. They're also incredibly cheap, and they're also gonna get pulled out most likely in the next armory rotation. What does that mean? They will probably spike instantly and spike again when they get pulled out indefinitely. That's why I highly recommend grabbing some of them, but not any. I'd go for the die-cast AK. That's my number 1 pick. On the second spot, I'd go with the semi-precious. And lastly, if you really want to push it, the baby keratin. Also, you don't need to grab any special pattern. I'd go with the lowest listed on the market, as I think those will see the best ROIs. Next up, I want to cover a recently discontinued sticker collection. Some of you guys might be invested into it, as I also am. So I might be called biased for this, but I truly ain't. It is a great investment for a few reasons. The biggest one being for me, they're pretty good applications, especially the reds, which you've seen I do own quite a lot of myself. But I would not recommend buying the reds. I would recommend, for the highest returns, you look into buying, for example, the Mustachio foil. It's incredibly cheap for a foil sticker. if you look at previous operation stickers and how they evolved in price over these last few years, you will see some amazing stuff, I promise you. Alright, let's look at some trends now. Before the announcement that they were gonna get discontinued, it was sitting at about 50-60 cents, pumped all the way up to €3, which is crazy. Then it went down to about 1.1, and now it's stabilized at about 1 for a few weeks, which is incredibly cheap. Also only 800 listings, which is really low for a sticker if you guys don't know. Application is good. The best applications are in the Taste Buddy, the Hypno Eyes, and also the Googly Eye have the best applications proportionately. And also the Flex is an amazing sticker. A lot of sus craft potential. As you can see, people have been going crazy with it. But I still recommend buying. It's still a good buy. And yeah, I do not think you're gonna get them much cheaper than this. And also, the listings on the market are insanely low. If we look at something like the elemental crafts that are still being opened right now, you're gonna see 5x or more on the market at this time, which is just ridiculous. So yeah, if you want to make a long-term safe-ish investment, look into one of these or more. On the number 2 spot, we have Spectrum, Gamma, and Glove Case Coverts. Why did I pick this? You guys might be asking. Well, firstly, they have the most in-demand finishes and knives and gloves for the glove case. So these coverts have been incredibly pumped. As you can see from the update, this is the roll cage. It's from the Gamma 2 case in field tested. I recommend getting field tested or worse for most of them, so just the cheapest condition, as you can trade up to factory new Gamma Dopplers and Dopplers for Spectrum. So it's the most profitable for coverts and the knives. So we can see the roll cage first pumped to about 50-60 first day. Then it went down a little bit, which is surprising as people were panicking. The market was in shambles. Then it pumped all the way up to where we are now, stable for quite a while, a few weeks, 3-4 weeks, at about €130 on Steam, which I would not recommend buying. I recommend getting them for about 110, 115 on third-party marketplaces. Now, you're basically buying a small part of a gold from these collections by buying one of these. So you're directly investing in golds just by owning coverts, which is a really nice opportunity to have, honestly. Now, why do I actually recommend these? Many gold trade-ups are still profitable, and in a market like this one, trade-ups, like spammable trade-ups, cannot be profitable and are not healthy. So either the knives and gloves decrease or the coverts increase to meet the demand. And I am betting on the coverts increasing. The supply is gonna get dried up incredibly fast as people use them for trade-ups, and rather soon there's not gonna be any or really few left to trade up into new golds. And on the number 1 spot, I have a really interesting pick for you guys. I have not heard anyone talking about this on YouTube, especially the CS2 investing scene. I'm talking about past manipulated skins and stickers, of course. As we know, the Chinese have been going absolutely crazy on the CS2 market, pumping, dumping, destroying whole collections of skins. And they're back. They just recently started pumping glove case gloves again, which is absolutely crazy. But now, how can we get rich off this? That's the billion-dollar question, of course. We have here the AK point disarray. I recommend only buying skins in a factory new or minimal wear. They're the most likely to get manipulated because of the lower supply, so lower barrier of entry for them. And look at this. This for the longest time was a 30-40 euro skin, which just recently, within a month, almost reached 500 euros on Steam. But now it fell all the way down to 115 euros. After the crash, it rebounded actually higher, 155, then to 90, and now it's looking at about 115, 120. Now, is this a good buying price? I think so, and this is not the only one. I'd also recommend buying into minimal wear or factory new if you got the money. Leaded glass. It's also a M4A1S skin. And if you got even more money, something I also bought into is the Stockholm 2021 Evil Genius Hollow, which was the most infamous manipulation in probably all of CS2 history. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed and will show your support in the comments. This is the first CS2 investing video for this channel, and I hope you guys found it insightful and interesting. See ya! We're giving away this flip knife fade in factory new condition to celebrate starting this YouTube channel. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also comment your trade link and why you would like to win. Drawing in 30 days.